Hi everybody, welcome to New Victory Gardening. It's Michael. So I was sitting and trying to take a break because during the winter time I don't grow very much. And I went out to check on the one thing I am doing, and I found that the whole bottom of my worm bin had broken and fallen out. So that's the episode today. I'm gonna take a look at it, figure out how to fix it, maybe talk about it a little bit. This bin has lasted, I want to say 7 years, 6 or 7 years, and it's basically 2x4. I'm sorry, not 2x4s, 4x4s. So pressure treated 4x4s, 2 of them, and then about 4 redwood fence boards, maybe 5 redwood fence boards that I cut to size and used exterior screws to screw together. And so that's what I had kind of been using just to give some shelter, and it actually works really well. The only thing I found out about it was that you have to keep it close to the house so that the worms can survive the winter, and other than that, it's been really great to take kitchen scraps and just put them out there. And so yeah, I had to sit and look at this for a minute and figure out, I don't want to take the whole thing apart, and I'd also like to fix it just a little bit better. So like, I've learned more about building, and so I would like to maybe try to fix this to where it would be better and last a little bit better than the first build. And so, one other thing, I'm not gonna buy anything to do this, so I have to use the scrap wood that I have kind of saved and stored around the yard to figure out basically what the fix is gonna be. So you see me trying maybe 2x6, 2x8 wood that I had, see if that might support the bottom. I had this piece of 1/4-inch plywood that is well weathered, and so that might be an option for fixing this. And so I'm kind of trying to measure out and see. This is 1/2-inch plywood, and I'm kind of seeing, unfortunately, it's not wide enough, but maybe there's a use for it. Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of a little additional challenge for me to figure out how to fix this thing using the scrap wood that I have, which strangely enough I don't have very much now. Normally I have about twice as much as what I have, but because it's winter time I cleared some of it out and I used some of it this summer, and so my thought process takes a little bit longer in trying to figure out what's gonna work and not cave in, right when you put it together, and just try not to embarrass myself. I was thinking here just closing the edges off and then making it more of a rectangle as opposed to the slightly more complex shape with the 4x4s on the inside of the box, but I think I ultimately am going to decide against doing it that way. One other funny thing is it's supposed to rain today, and so I found this box broken in last night, and I got all the mulch out of it. You can see it in my blue wheelbarrow back there. It's enough to fill up a wheelbarrow. And so I went and looked at the forecast because I didn't want to leave this out, and I saw that I had basically the morning to figure out, to take this apart, get it ready, and figure out how to fix it. And it's supposed to start raining after that, like towards noon on New Year's Eve. And so I'm a little bit rushed figuring out what to do and what's going to work, but I think I'll just resheath the bottom using that 1/4-inch plywood. So I'll go ahead and make some cuts here. Yep, I think that'll work. And then I have another piece of redwood. I don't want to make it heavy. That was the thing about this is that it was made in a good way, but it was lightweight. So the materials I used before kept the actual box pretty lightweight, and so I'm trying to maintain something that'll be strong enough to hold the weight of the mulch, or I'm sorry, of the fertilizer that the worms will be creating, but not be super heavy to carry or super bulky, like I can still move it by myself. And so I think I'll use this spare redwood fence board I have that's well weathered, and that weathered plywood. Every time you see me leave the scene and come back, I'm actually cutting, but I didn't put any of the cutting. I kind of kept that part out, so I just come back with perfectly sized boards. Actually, I have a saw set up that I'm cutting them with, just outside a scene here. I thought I had screws, but the box was empty, and I had put other screws in there, so I had fooled myself. That's a mistake. Don't reuse, because you'll think you have something you don't have. These are galvanized, and since the weight's going to be at 90 degrees to the nail, they won't slide out. These smooth nails sometimes come out, so old-fashioned hammering. So I like to fashion a center support just to make the whole thing stronger. And it looks like this will be the design that I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and fasten some of this plywood to the rest of the structure, but this is upside down. I'm going to flip this back over it. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just pinning it in place. Like none of this is supposed to be load bearing. I'm just pinning it in place using some exterior screws that I had left over. And I'll do the same with that center support after I cut it to size. And what's actually load bearing are some 2x4s I plan to set up across the board and nail to the legs that are holding up, and that'll make it strong. And then my center support should hopefully make it strong as well. So there's some boards I found. This was actually a bit challenging. Like I said, I had used up most of my spare wood, and so I had to look around a bit, but I was able to find 2 boards. If it was up to me, I would put these boards on the long edge, but I just didn't have enough. Like, I would just need one normal length 2x4 to do that, and I just couldn't find one. And so I have to instead put it like this, and hopefully that center support combined with this will be enough. But if you wanted to make the structure really strong, you would go the other way with longer boards and just anchor that off to the legs, and then you'd have nice long supports. But this is going to have to work for this since I'm in a rush and trying to beat the rain. Of course, it's raining. I was trying to beat the rain. Whenever you have something fail, my worm being fails. You end up having to beat the weather. This is one way of doing this. Alright. Just to give you an idea where to cut this. So I like to line my worm bin just with some landscape fabric. It's just a personal preference because I always leave some creases or holes in it so that water can drain through it. Like I don't want it to be completely sealed, and so I don't want my worms bailing out. So I'll just get usually some landscape fabric, kind of line the bottom and bowl, make a little bowl up the side, and just staple that in there. And that usually keeps everybody in and keeps all my fertilizer in as well, and makes everything, work a little better. So that's all I'm doing here. Here we go. I had to rush in because it started raining, so I had to get all my tools in. But you see, I got it back in place, got it back full again, the liner up and in, and everybody is happy, warm, cozy, and happy. And hopefully they'll keep on making great fertilizer for me. This has actually worked quite well with the kitchen composter. I did a video about the automatic kitchen composters that you can get, where you just put your kitchen scraps in and it processes them. Well, I've been doing that and then putting the stuff from the composter in here, and it's actually really worked great. And also this gave me an opportunity to just spread a little fertilizer out in the yard just to get a head start on that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. I know it's winter time, but I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Take care and God bless.